Ladies and gentlemen, now in today's video, we're going to be checking out the brand new feature Combo Tracker and also talking about the impacts of this, because in my opinion, this is probably one of the biggest changes and features that they've ever added, because it allows you to have your combos fully displayed. You can fully track exactly what you've done and output it, but not only that for your own character, it also works for the opponents as well. So you can fully telegraph when it's like the end of a combo, if the opponent's like throwing a medium attack, and if there's like a little bit of a delay, then they're generally like throwing a heavy attack. So it just kind of allows you to get an edge on fighting any opponent in the game without having to like specifically maybe know or understand their animations. And I think that is absolutely huge for new players learning this game, because I think one thing it's really, really easy to take for granted is that Marvel Contest of Champions has 250 characters. And all of those characters have, unique animations, unique ways that they move. And it's really difficult to learn, like, all of those animations. But this kind of gives you, like, a little bit of a head start as to, how to effectively string together your combos, helps kind of newer players understand their inputs a little bit more, but also just helps you get a better read on opponents and AI as well. Like, even like just looking at the symbols popping up, like it's actually really clear when the opponent is throwing a heavy attack, because there's always that pause. So if it might be a bit of a newer, more confusing champion, and especially some of the bosses as well, when you have characters like the 7-4 Kang and Bahamut and, the Grand Master, all these crazy characters you maybe haven't fought before. Just like having this kind of like animation hack, so you know exactly what kind of attack they're throwing and the impacts of that attack, I think is really, really awesome. So I am a big, big fan of this change. I think, again, for a lot of people, it's probably going to feel a little bit weird to see, because we haven't had a feature like this for such a long time. It has never existed. But I also do remember a time where, we didn't have percentage health bars. Only the real OGs are going to remember that one, man. But I think it's like the first 3 years, there wasn't even a percentage at the top. And then it took a little bit of getting used to. So it really is one of those things that I say, even if you're like, oh, you're finding this a bit overwhelming, finding it's a bit too much, just keep it on for a week, keep it on for a week, see how you find it, just keep getting used to it, keep practicing. Because I think once you really learn how to read this, see, we saw like 4 light attacks there, and I knew we could punish. So I might not have like clocked onto that, previously, but it's like 4 light attacks, 2 mediums, and you have, just fantastic opportunity. It's like with Chavez, you can much more articulately see very complex combos that we might be using on champions that people are, not so familiar with. And this is absolutely huge for game. I'm not playing very well, by the way, just throw it out there. I'm just kind of like playing around with this new combo tracker, man. Just look at all the icons. But yeah, I think it's genuinely amazing for making like video guides and content, because you can just actively show the audience exactly what inputs you're using, exactly how you're playing that champion, and there's no need for any guesswork. There's no need for like understanding animations. Like on Mantis, if we switch up the combo, for example, that may have not been so apparent that occasionally we wanted to go for like light ending combos. And Chavez here, if we go for the chain on, and then into a striker. Again, I probably should have let that one actually go to the the final hit there. But yeah, overall, like, dude, this change, this feature is absolutely phenomenal in my opinion. And again, like, if you're a new player, dude, 250 characters, like, look at the amount of champions we have in this game. I think, when I generally approach like a new fighting game, I'm intimidated when there's like a roster of like 40 characters, man. If you open up like an anime fighting game and there's 40 characters, you're like, dude, I have no idea where to start. I have no idea how to deal with any of these characters. So I think kind of adding like a core fundamental system like this to not only help you learn exactly what you're inputting, but also be able to perfectly read the hits that the opponents are putting out are really, really nice. And I think as well, like certain champions, I wanted to show Chavez today, Shang-Chi, but also Quicksilver as well is like a really good one. Another example of a character that has, you know, seemingly more complicated animations, but hopefully like this feature. Again, I haven't even tried Quicksilver with this just yet. But it's like I can tell, okay, that's my light attack ending. And then I just go for, yeah, that's perfect. I'm not even like looking at his animations here. I'm just looking at my combo tracker and I can just do the combo perfectly. Okay, and then I go for medium. Nice. So again, this isn't really like an example of how to play any of these characters perfectly. I'm just like seeing like actually how this works in practicality. But just like focusing in on these icons if I really want to learn a champion and get a bit more comfortable. And it is kind of one of those things like playing a lot of characters, a lot of this combo stuff does become a little bit muscle memory, you know? And then once, you know, the default rotation, you kind of get it built in, that's where, you know, you go for the slightly more fancy endgame nodes, the more complicated matchups, once you've got kind of that really nice foundational knowledge. And yeah, that's where there's a pretty good time. I was going to try and do some counters on Quicksilver here. But also, I remembered, like, he's not even like he's like a rank 1 4-star champion, so he doesn't have much block proficiency. I think one thing that doesn't display is, like, opponent's special attacks in the combo for some reason. It's always really obvious when they're charging heavy, though. Okay, that was a second medium, so we saw that second icon pop up. And we knew it was safe to immediately counter there. So yeah, honestly, I think this is probably the biggest change that they've done in the last, like, 3 years for actually helping people just fundamentally, like, understand what's going on with inputs, both on their character and other characters, and actually get better at the game. And, like, a huge part of, you know, playing Marvel Contest of Champions is not getting hit. That's a really, really big part. You know, if you got the skill to understand inputs and the skill to understand, you know, when you can get your openings, that is a very, very important thing as well. But one thing as well, I just want to highlight again, if it's been like a week's time or instantly you're like super grumpy, hate this feature, don't want it clogging up your screen, you know, ultimate gamer vibes, you can just go to the settings to disable the combo tracker. So that is a potential option. But again, I've tested this a bit on the content creator beta. It feels a bit weird at first, but honestly, I think the more you get used to it with various champions, the more it's going to help you out. It's just kind of more information to understand not only your own inputs in potentially stressful scenarios, but also exactly what the opponent is throwing out. And yeah, I think that's super, super valuable. And I think one quest specifically, which... again, still to this day, dude, this is probably like the biggest roadblock for like so many people. And has always been for like the last 5 years. It's probably like the Masochism quest here. So this one is a is an interesting quest. I think we'll go on like Gladiator Hulk. Let's just bring in like friggin' hell. It doesn't really matter if the champions are good or not. Just want to like test out some inputs here. Let's go a bit of Spider-Gwen. Oh, we got to go a bit of Cap as well. But yeah, this is a point in the game where regularly, if people are trying to get through this, I need to teach them, hey, like, this is the time, actually, you need to bait out heavy attacks. Or have a champion that can counter Masochism. Because, you know, a lot of people at this point, they might just, like, get the hang of parry, and then they're like, oh, my parry isn't working. So now it's kind of like, you know, seeing what the opponent's doing, if they're, like, staggering with their heavy attacks, or, like, their double medium, we saw it straight away. You just go ahead and punish. Okay, what's he using? Heavy attack. Get a nice punishment in there. We were ready to go back there. Okay, I messed up a little bit there, man. And I'm just trying to see if we can see those full ending combos. To be fair, it is rare that... Oh, actually, I got so clapped there. I got Giga comboed. Well, clearly, you know, it's a little bit of a skill issue on my end here. But this is definitely like a quest and a point in the game where, like, this information, man, is so valuable. Again, Cat World War II, you know, he's not the best champion. That damage output certainly isn't tearing through this yellow jacket at any sort of significant speed there. But let's change over. Let's go for a little bit of Gladiator Hulk. Let's actually try and play this match now. Let's see what we can do. I think it like telegraphs intercepts as well, because they are marked as medium attacks. I don't know actually. Maybe I should try and experiment with that a little bit instead of just trying to win this match. So if I like go back, I don't know if it like telegraphs them in any sort of time frame that you can act on useful information, if that makes sense. We'll like get him into the corner and see if we can start doing some good stuff here. But that pretty much tells you, kind of in hindsight, that you got an intercept. I think intercepts again are way too fast. This information probably comes in a little bit too late. But maybe as well, if you you see they like throw a light attack and you've got enough distance, maybe that's enough time to like cancel something and kind of back out. Or just be prepared that you you may be about to get clapped. Okay, right, this is it, man. I think we're going to actually trigger the node here. Or like, okay, if I'd been a little bit quicker there and paid a bit more attention, I could have punished that. But it's also good that it kind of like flags up those scenarios where you're like, ah, okay, if I just look out for that particular notifier. There we go. Okay, that was 4 light hits there. Is this man going down? He actually might. Come on. Oh, let's go, dude. Let's go. So yeah, overall, a really, really cool feature, dude. I do think it is a game changer for new players. But I also think, again, I would imagine most of you are sitting here, or not most of you, but like a good portion of you are like, oh, okay, this feels like a bit too much information. I kind of feel overloaded as it is already. But again, I just encourage you, if you got a little bit of time tonight, just chill out, put on some music. Just go into like Act 5, something that's going to be easy, something you can practice around, Realm of Legends as well, and just get used to playing with it. And kind of just identify scenarios where with all this, you know, additional layer of information where it can be useful to you, how it can help you improve. But also I do think, again, for watching MCOC YouTube videos is going to be so good because you can watch the best players out there and now know exactly what they're inputting. If, you know, they're playing very complex champions that require, you know, alternating up the combo and just doing all sorts of crazy stuff. So yeah, I think that's going to be like really, really cool from like a viewership perspective. And again, there's a lot of characters I'm trying to learn and get really good at the moment. So yeah, I think this is going to be really helpful moving forward. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts on the new combo tracker feature in the comments section below. And if you did enjoy today's breakdown, please do smash that like button. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day.